That's another Deeper Cuts mix for another week. I'm not going to give you the track list, and you could go online if you want that. It's up for 28 days on I nearly just said on the Deeper Cuts. On BBC Sounds is what I wanted to say. Johnny Walker's up next with The Rock Show. He'll be here from 11 till midnight, and then Romesh for the love of hip-hop. So that's it for another week. I'll be back next Friday, bright and breezy, at 9. See you then. This is BBC Radio 2 on the BBC Sounds app on your smart speaker and on 88 to 91 FM.
With the BBC News at 11 o'clock, this is Jason Kay. President Zelensky of Ukraine has said he's applied for fast-track membership of NATO after Vladimir Putin formally declared 4 regions of the country as Russian. In a ceremony in Moscow, Mr. Putin said people living in Luhansk, Donetsk, Kherson and Zaporizhia would become Russian citizens. The Ukrainian Member of Parliament, Alexander Mereshko, said they would never recognise the annexation.
We continue our counteroffensive successfully. Today, Ukrainian army has liberated a new town, Yampil, in Donetsk region. Some parts of Russian troops in Donetsk region are encircled by Ukrainian army. So we continue until we liberate the whole our territory.
Prince William has said that online safety for young people should be a prerequisite and not an afterthought after an inquest into the death of Molly Russell. Earlier, the coroner ruled that some images of self-harm, which were viewed on social media by the 14-year-old, played a role in her decision to take her own life in 2017. The government says it'll work closely with the Office for Budget Responsibility after the Prime Minister met the head of the organisation. Liz Truss has been criticised for not publishing an independent assessment of the economic plans unveiled last Friday. The OBR will now produce one, but won't be released until November. Jonathan Reynolds is the Shadow Business Secretary.
What you've seen is that Conservatives' belief that their plan is a plan for growth. Well, no one's got any faith in that. If they did have faith in that, you wouldn't have seen this adverse reaction. And frankly, until the government just admits they got it wrong, they need to recall Parliament, they need to revoke that budget, the problems won't go away.
Energy prices will rise for millions of households in the UK from midnight. The maximum price per unit of energy is going up, so the more you use, the more you'll see your bills increase by. Detectives investigating the death of a schoolboy who was killed by the Moors murderer Ian Brady in 1964 have begun a new dig on Saddleworth Moor. Greater Manchester Police are examining a report that a fragment of a human skull was discovered by a man researching the disappearance of 12-year-old Keith Bennett. The man convicted of one of Scotland's longest unsolved murders has been urged by the family of his victims to reveal where he hid their bodies. William McDowell, who's 80, was sentenced to life in prison for killing his former lover, Renee McRae, and their young son, Andrew, in 1976. Mrs. McRae's sister, Morag Govans, made a fresh plea following McDowell's conviction.
I'm hoping that he will tell us where they are, where the remains are, so that we can lay them to rest where we want them to, but I don't think he will. But that's what I would like to say to him. I would like him to just do this one last decent thing and tell us.
People are being asked not to use trains unless absolutely necessary tomorrow. Services will be significantly disrupted by strike action. BBC News, 3 minutes past 11.
1, 2, 3...
Oh, make me over.
You guys ready?
Now, the Radio 2 Rock Show with Johnny Walker.